Zol
versus Zol.
Okay.
For those of y'all that don't know, Zol has the highest force stat in the game.
Base 9. And
Granted, I think he took one out.
He took one out, so he's at a measly 8 force on small Brawlhalla here, going up against Stingray and the Black Knight. Axe is picked up first, and Stingray with the lance already boxing Kyna out with those down 6 D-lights, neutral lights, goes for the pivot there after that down light connects, and he continues burning his opponent, but Kyna with 2 strong hits can make the damage dead even.
Now, one thing I think Kyna may be thinking here is that historically, you'll hear from Rocket Lance players that Axe is usually the worst matchup for the weapon.
You'll hear from me saying that as well. I feel like Axe neutral light just stops almost half of the moves that Lance likes to do. And look at that. I mean,
awesome.
The spears in hand, but gravity cancel neutral light off stage. That's a pretty darn good option too.
Oh, looking to see some cannon action here. Looking to see if he can potentially get a read on Stingray, but Stingray picks up that Rocket Lance. Is going to be looking for a KO. Now, Zol does not have a whole lot of defense here, so all it's going to take is one clean hit from Stingray and should be able to bring this one back, but every time you get just even nicked a little bit.
How is Kyna moving this fast, Lambo? How is he moving that fast? The dodge goes up and Stingray stops the pressure, gets the neutral sig on the dodge up, but that entire time Kyna was flying around him with the cannon. He was making cannon look like the Rocket Lance that time, but moving at the speed of light because of how fast he was going. And Stingray able to deal with the pressure, but one nair there could lead from a neutral signature from Kyna, and that could be the stock. Stingray's got to be careful. With Zol, you get that neutral sig on Axe, and you're covering an area in the sky that no other Axe legend can cover.
Now, can Stingray get out the corner? The answer is yes. Manages to do so with a Sair from the spear, and he's finding quite position here as he gets the ground pound to go ahead and do the quickest turnaround you've ever seen, and that's what this stage can be good for. If you want to make a comeback, the KO boxes are so small that you can just do it like that.
Oh, and Kyna goes for the nair read after the side light. The neutral light connects, and we're talking about those small knockout boxes. Well, there you have it. Kyna gets that knockout there, and priming the cannon. It looks like it's what Kyna wants to stick with here in game number 1 against Stingray. Stingray picks up that spear, and Kyna starts flying through the cannon, but the down air interrupted by the neutral light, and Stingray staying in the ground. Jump fastball, but Kyna stops the pressure with the neutral light. Stingray now having Kyna off stage. Side light, D-light, side air. That is your bread and butter on the spear, and he lands with that down air, gets that clash, and continues to take the lead.
And one thing I love that I'm seeing from Stingray here is that he's using the spear into the cannon matchup, right? Because one of the toughest things about cannon is having the priority to get through a lot of the disjoints. And that neutral light from that spear, that side air, is going to be so useful, and that down sig to close it out. How many times, Taza?
That's how Stingray wins his games. He's so good at it. He gets to that point where it's like, okay, that is the minimum amount of damage that you cannot survive from anymore. 2 less damage, that down tick would not knock out. But Stingray, he knows better, and he's so fantastic with catching people's landings, their dodge downs, anything on that last stock scenario that you might as well just guarantee that you're going to be losing games with Stingray with the down tick as the finisher. And we're going right back to Brawlhalla for game number 2 here in this matchup between South America's best and North America's PR number 2, Stingray on the Rocket Lance.
Oh man, and I called Stingray brave at the start of game 1, but he's already proven that he can do it no problem, and looking to do it yet again. We'll see. This is the matchup that Kyna wants here. Has the axe in hand versus the Rocket Lance, and it looked like it was working at the start of game 1, but the game escaped him so quickly.
Oh, that down sig catching Kyna off guard into orange. Neutral light comes through though, and Kyna got such an early knockout with the gravity cancel neutral light before. Edge guard scenario here. But beats coming through, but Stingray with the pickup on the spear. You were talking about it, Flambeau. He's been using the spear so well against the cannon, and Kyna does not seem to be able to deal with the pressure. That down tick, however, a rare misread from Stingray, but the fall down after the dodge does not get him. Side airs him into the stage. No dodge means Kyna goes for an edge guard. No, down sig avoided. Side light, stuff recovery. Stingray, gravity cancel, wake up D-light into nair. Manages to avoid losing that stock there. The first stock goes over to Stingray. No, Kyna barely surviving. The gravity cancel D-light, the dare on the stage. Flambeau, I thought stocks flew early on this stage. They're just barely surviving.
And no punish on the sig, but there we go. Finally a side air from Kyna, but I'm in agreement with you. Like, Zols are not supposed to live to that color.
Exactly.
You're never supposed to see that.
And Stingray, in agreement with both of us, takes him off the top of that unarmed uppercut. But Kyna now waiting for that cannon to come through, and we're back to a neutral game here. 2 stocks to 2. Both players barely damaged, and Kyna taking the lead.
Okay, Okay, and we're going to see a little bit of a cannon string here. Stingray, once again, opting to go for that spear into the cannon matchup, but getting juggled by these nairs. It's a tough time getting down to the ground.
D-Light Nair, another Nair coming through. 4 of them have come through already, and Kyna dash dumping to the down ticket, catches Stingray trying to fly over the zone that he thought was safe. But Kyna says with the cannon on down tick, I get to choose where you are going to fly, and Stingray flies right off the top of the stage as he's 1 stock away from going down a game here in this best of 5.
And granted, we saw Stingray in a similar position in the last game where he was down and then was able to make a very quick comeback. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to do the same thing here. Not quite. That almost KO. That is Zol Force behind that.
That was Zol Force behind it, and Stingray miraculously holds on to that last stock. Weapon throw pickup neutral, like Kyna has the next weapon prepared, but Stingray Sares his way back on the stage, and Kyna returns a Sare to his favor. Nice job with that neutral air there from Stingray, but he's got to take this stock, and then another one, and Kyna with the cannon gets the D-Light, gets the Nair, and gets the 2 stock in game number 2.
Okay, so now I'm wondering, are y'all gonna do the whole thing on small Brawlhalla? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
That's what, it's one of those matchups. I love seeing these matchups. We talk about it every once in a while when you get the right 2 players going head to head. It is back to the same stage, same legends, every single game until a winner is decided. And they're going to continue adapting to each other's playstyle. We saw Stingray do a great job with the spear in game number 1. And then Kyna with the cannon just buckled up and did a much better job getting that 2 stock in game number 2. Let's see how Stingray's spear plays out here as he opens up with a strong D-Light side air. But Kyna with the axe has already brought Stingray into orange with a side light side air. Oh, Stingray could have gotten that knockout off the top, but Kyna manages to make it back down.
Yeah, and it's one of those scenarios where Orion as a character doesn't really have a cheesy option to KO off the top there. You have to go for like exhausted spear recovery, whereas if you were Bryn or Hattori, you have that ability to go for a gravity cancel neutral signature and find your KO off the top. So here, Stingray was like, I'll go for neutral air and try to get cheeky.
Ooh, nice job with the D-Light recovery. Kyna makes it back to the stage, dodges down. Stingray maybe looking for that landing with the down sink here, Flambeau. There it is, but Kyna jumps over the top of it. And he can't manage to get that knockout. Stingray a little too obvious with his down six there, and Kyna punishing him for it off the right side of the stage as he's now up a stock.
Oh man, and sometimes it can feel like forever for a weapon to spawn. Sometimes it just feels that way because you just are looking for that moment. I need something in my hand, and it looks like it's going to be the Rocket Lance, and immediately after finding that down signature, swaps over to the spear. So I'm assuming it must be, no, it's actually an axe next. I thought he had a cannon primed up because he went so quick into it, but I think he's just feeling the spear. Look at him go! Holy cow!
Sidelight almost leads to the Nair, and he's still edge guarding Kyna here. Kyna has used the axe recovery, fades to the stage, sweats to the stage, gets the Nair, down sig, punish, sidelight, Nair, nothing afterwards, weapon throw, Stingray with the neutral signature, the dare back onto the stage, maybe trying to get the landing hitbox, but doesn't succeed, and Stingray reading a dodge down with that down signature, gets an amazing reversal onto Kyna, and goes up a stock lead here in game number 3.
Yeah, that was a little bit crazy from Kyna there, because that was the full South America, I have no weapon, I shouldn't be doing this, but you know what, it works sometimes.
That's absolutely right, and Stingray ready for it in that moment. Kyna with the cannon gets the neutral light, he's a weapon throw away, maybe goes for the gravity cancel neutral light instead. Recovery hits, I think Stingray's still sweating, but he's got the lance, so a great job to be able to get back to the stage. D-Light Nair would be huge here from Kyna, but he's got to land that first hit, and if he whiffs it, Stingray has shown that he gets 4 to 5 good hits. Now first D-Light and a Nair is a great start. Stingray covering his head with a massive amount of weapon throw potential with the lance, but there, finally, Nair comes through, and Kyna, I mean, when you're on small Brawlhalla, this damage might as well be even.
Yeah, I love the way Stingray pushes his advantage state once he catches somebody's dodge and they're popped up in the air. He'll throw that Rocket Lance up because he's like, it's going to hit you. You can't dodge it, and even if it doesn't, he's not fully committing, and it's so smart.
Oh, dodges out of the neutral sig, lands with the down air, gets the side up, but the sidelight doesn't come through, and he just barely avoids getting blasted by the lasers of the down sig. Kyna with the turnaround side air to recovery. Stingray, damage, has to dare for safety. The weapon throw stopping the ground pound, but still trying to make it back. Disarmed, Kyna gets the Nair. He can weapon start with the second Nair, gets it. Kyna brings it back in game number 3. Flambeau Kyna is 1 game away from being in top 4 at BCX to represent South America.
And honestly, I feel like on dogs, just don't go to small Brawlhalla, bro. just don't go back there, because I feel like Cannon Nair has a moderate amount of KO power, but like, imagine we were on like Fortress of Lions or something like that.
Literally any other stage except Enigma, I guess.
You know, like
we're going back. We're going back for sure.
So? Yeah, he left it open, so
All right, here we go. Kyna's
yes.
going right back to Brawlhalla, and Stingray, with some adaptations, could come out on top here and bring it to a game number 5, right? Because even after the beginning of that game, where it got to the point where the down 6 were getting a little obvious, and Kyna was able to punish him for it, Stingray really tying up that signature game. I really feel like Kyna just clutched that last game. I think momentum's still in Stingray's favor, but we'll have to find out here as we're going to game number 4.
I have to agree with you there. I mean, I gotta respect the man who sticks to his guns, right? He's like, you know what? It's not a stage issue, it's a skill issue. And I know I can just play better in this next game. And well, this is your last chance to do so, because otherwise, it's gonna be your bracket life. And this cannon is doing what cannon does best, escorting its opponents towards the side of the stage.
The weapon throw forces Kyna to recover to the right side of the stage, and the exhausted recovery, you were talking about how that's the only option that Orion has, but guess what? That down sig that time, Kyna wasn't ready for it, and he eliminates that stock after an incredibly extended edge guard there on that landing, and Kyna is down a stock.
Oh, and that's going to be a punish from Kyna. Gets the neutralite on the axe, so luckily not too much damage taken from Stingray here, but needs to watch the landing here as another neutralite without touching the floor, I believe, makes this almost impossible for Stingray to make it back. Yes, perfect timing from Kyna.
So Stingray on that edge guard too. Kyna did the most brilliant thing ever. That was the best move to spot dodge in place, because Stingray was relying on that Sair to hit to get the chase dodge. Because he went for the Sair, lost the momentum, didn't get the hit, fell down to lose that stock, and Kyna evens things up and starts to take the lead there with that D-Light down air connecting.
Oh man, and I think the tough part about this for Stingray is that Kyna's slowing down a little bit. We're used to Kyna, you know, well, usually it's the sword. You know, we didn't even talk about that. Usually Kyna's on the sword.
I mean, I really do feel like Kyna was like, okay, Cannon's how I'm going to beat Godly, and Godly's the only one that I need to prepare for here as he gets that recovery, and he's one stock away from a 3-1 victory over Stingray.
All right, is this the end of the Black Knight, or will he be able to put the helmet back on, tuck in that armor, and bring this to another game, as that is almost enough to find the KO and downsig in the near future, potentially. And there it is, but it's a bit too obvious. I think we all saw that one coming.
Oh, but the second one, Stingray says it doesn't matter if it's obvious. If I'm not going to get punished, I can throw 80 downsigs, and one of them's bound to connect, and Kyna goes down to that downsig there on that last stock. And now here he is, neutral light, D-Light, has the axe, gets punished by the sidelight, but dodges right through the nair that Stingray goes for afterwards. But Stingray still boxing Kyna off the side of the stage, but an axe side air, that's a ton of damage.
Yeah, just a perfect fastfall from Kyna. You can see Stingray trying to catch the landing, but couldn't quite beat it out with the spear sidelight. But these spear sidelights are going to be the breadwinner for him right here. He needs to get the read, and he doesn't quite get the timing.
It was the right read, but yes, you're right, Flambo doesn't get the timing, doesn't get the spacing, the downlight doesn't come through, but Stingray still on the upper hand here. Has Kyna the sidelight, waits him out, the dodge goes to the right, but Stingray doesn't go off stage for it. Falls, gets the dare, goes to the D-Light, and Kyna switches over to the axe. He's looking for a down air, side air, down to hit, and Stingray clutches game number 4, brings it to a game 5, and as much as we call out those downsigs that miss, when they hit so right. Stingray now bring it to a game 5.
And that's the thing about Orion Spear downsig, right? If at first you don't succeed, try again. But also, you have to remember, like, there are just some moves in Brawlhalla that are so good that you just got to keep throwing them out. And this is one of those moves, you know?
That
like,
center stage, too.
It doesn't matter.
It's fantastic coming out from Stingray. And you see him taking a little bit of a breather there, getting ready for this game 5. And I'm wondering, is this the time? Is this the time where you... Because Kyna, banning up the stage, is definitely leaving up Brawlhalla. But if he leaves open Demon Island, there's a possibility that Stingray finally mixes it up and goes there for game 1. Heck no. It's Brawlhalla all the way through. We're in game number 5, Flambo. And the winner of this is going to be in top 4 at BCX 2022. Is going to be South America's best, or is Stingray going to get the win to represent North America?
3,
all right, only moments now we will find out who the victor will be, as the first weapon goes in the hand of Kyna, but Stingray manages to pick up a spear. That is the great 50-50 on that weapon spawn, by the way.
That is for sure, and Kyna with the cannon going up against spear seems to be the ideal matchup for both players, but Kyna with the Sair down air, dodges in place, gets another side air recovery, chase dodges up, has an edge guard here, down to come out to pressure Stingray to recover high, but no, he just waits out the exclamation points, and Stingray makes it back to center stage, has the spear, sidelight, second hits, ground pound, really catching Kyna off guard, and he dodges through the weapon throw into forcing Kyna onto the axe.
Oh, and Stingray's movement right now is impeccable as he manages to barely catch that neutralite. Kyna trying to catch the landing, tries to punish with a D-Stinger, probably would have KO'd, but that's going to be a punish from Kyna with a falling Sayer on an ill-advised downlight from Stingray.
Really,
now he's on the back foot.
Really punishing Stingray for thinking that he automatically got that downlight for free. The side light came through, Kyna got hit by that, but spot dodged the other, and the fadeaway sider on the axe takes the first stock. Stingray now 2 stocks left in the tournament. Kyna goes over that sider, gravity cancel neutralite, trying to get a dodge read, and Kyna does make it back to the stage. Stingray waiting for that weapon spawn, picks up the spear, but the cannon keeps blasting. One down air hits. Can he get another one? Stingray gets hit with the neutralite, and Kyna gets a second neutralite. Weapon throw. He has to use his dodge to make it back to stage, and Kyna punishes him with the unarmed recovery, but now he's over on the axe. Stingray has an opportunity, and that side stick came so close.
He hadn't thrown that Sig all game, all set pretty much, and the one time he does it, the perfect reaction comes out from Kyna, but these ground pounds from Stingray have been so on point.
They were unheard of until game 5, Flambeau, but now he's gotten them. In the sidelight nair, he delays the nair, gets the second nair, and avoids that neutral air from Kyna so that he can continue getting more damage. That's a powerful cannon sider coming out from Zol, but he's not enough to take Stingray out just yet, and Stingray falls in, trying to get as much damage as he can before he falls to that last stock, and Kyna dash forward, dash back down, so punished by neutralite. Stingray still unarmed, but holding on.
Yo, the way he's playing this dog right now, okay, doesn't get the response there. He needed to punch that one with a backstep sidelight again, but despite that, he was behind by so much, and Stingray is doing such a great job of mitigating the damage. Finally, a nair is going to connect from Kyna, but I think Stingray did enough to bring this game back into the realm of possibility. Can he clutch this back out, or will Kyna close it out?
Oh, this is the clutch here for sure. Flambeau, the doubter comes through, and he's fully charged the recovery. Kyna does not punish it in time. The neutral sticks, the down sticks, the neutralites. There's the sides to come out here as well. Stingray's throwing out all of the moves in Black Knight's kit. Kyna on the back foot now here despite being up in stocks. Stingray goes for the weapon throw forward, but the sidelight nair downlight. That is a massive amount of damage here in game 5.
And this is Zol. That means that Stingray's now in the danger zone. Goes for the ground pound, and Stingray responds with a server zone. Can he get the stock here? I think he needs to.
Pogo,
can he get this corner?
He goes all the way down.
He gets the pogo toward the bottom of the stage. It's going to last stock, but it's against an 8-force Zul on small Brawlhaven. One side air, and that's it for Stingray.
The side air hits, and that's the only place on the stage that he can survive it. Kyna has all of them as moves in the kit to get the game, and Stingray has to play up perfect stock. Side air, sidelight, nair, falling Sayer, misses, but Kyna gets the sidelight, but that's the only combo starter for Cannon there. That's not gonna auto combo, and now he switches over the axe. He wants the fleeting attacks. The nair, the recovery. Stingray dodges one move. The dare comes through as well. The nair comes through. Stingray, can he clutch it?
And at this point, a neutralite will KO, and you can see Kyna starting to fish for it. Doesn't want to go for a super laggy move. The neutralite is all he needs to get the KO. Doesn't get it there. That was an opportunity. Stingray knows what his win condition is, and he's going for it. He wants it so bad. He's got it. He's betting it all. He's betting it all. Can he do it? Can he stop Kyna, or will Kyna close his dreams out here? Stingray is so goddamn clutch.
Stingray from an entire stock and a half deficit gets the down stick. That is the Stingray getting the down stick finisher from being that behind. How does he do it? Kyna played his heart out, but Stingray well deserved that win as he takes down South America's finest and moves on in the top 4 here at BCX 2022.
I'm gonna pass out. I'm actually gonna pass out. I cannot.
49 damage on the spear. 49 damage on the spear. Damage dealt equal to damage taken. We're getting this last stock here. Look at this. What better way, Flambeau, than to land, pick up, dodge the side air that would have won the game, and then right behind him on that down stick says, that's your last down stick. He gets him, and look at him. Stingray can't even believe it himself, but he does it so well deserved coming here. He's had so many amazing Game 5 wins, and having that win over Kyna is just so darn impressive.
Simply built different.
All right, well with that, let's head over to the analysts. Just take it away.
What a clutch from Stingray in the final moments of game number 5. 595 damage to 595. You couldn't have had it closer, but he denies us the dream of having all the top PRs in the top 4. Instead, it's going to be Luna and Stingray, number 1, number 2 for NA, plus Impala, number 10 for NA, and Godly, number 1 for EU. I'm trying to give you some breathing room, Ajax, so Zip, let us know what just happened.
Stingray, the down sig doctor, he did open heart surgery with that because you know he's feeling it in his chest.